Have you ever had one of those moments when you conveniently forget how to say a word in your own language? No? Oh, that's right, because most of us don't pretend to lose vocabulary overnight. Welcome to the world of Hilaria Baldwin, or should I say Hillary Baldwin. Hello everyone, I'm Star Chairs, and in this channel we analyze videos through the lens of PR. This video contains personal commentary based on publicly available information, including subscription content. It's intended solely for entertainment and educational purposes. Opinions expressed are my own and should not be considered factual allegations. Viewers are encouraged to do their own research and form their own opinions. All right, so if you've never heard of Hilaria Baldwin, she kind of gives a little Meghan Markle sparkle kind of vibe. So let me go ahead and recap a little bit about her and what she's all about. In fact, Inside Edition did a fabulous job. Let me show you.
Today, Hilaria Baldwin tries to set the record straight, yet again, after being accused of faking her Spanish heritage. This as photos surface showing Hilaria at the center of her Spanish-themed wedding, waving a flamenco hand fan. In 2012, she told People magazine, "I liked that I brought in a bit of my culture. I'm born in Boston." Hilaria now publicly admits that she was born in Boston, not Spain, as it has been reported for years.
My wife is from Spain.
Alec Baldwin told David Letterman that his wife was from Spain, raising questions whether he was ever told the truth of her heritage.
Let me show you some of the two clips that are my favorite, where she allegedly forgets in her native tongue in English how to say onions and cucumbers.
My husband hates cebolla. I forgot it. Okay, cebolla. So he hates cebolla, and so I grind cebolla and ajo.
Tomatoes. We have in what is it? Cucumbers.
Ah, yes, the cucumber, the exotic vegetable that definitely is difficult to recall when you grew up in, I don't know, Boston. Hillary Baldwin, wife of Alec Baldwin, famously claimed she was from Mallorca, Spain, but plot twist, she's actually from Boston, Massachusetts. Imagine confusing tapas with Dunkin' Donuts. Happens to me all the time. Now she chooses to call herself Hilaria Baldwin because that's pretty much what she likes to be called. We all have nicknames, so you'll hear me use it simultaneously between Hilaria and Hillary, whichever comes to mind at first, so bear with me. When Hilaria Baldwin forgets the word cucumber, she's not just giving us meme material, she's also perpetuating cringeworthy stereotypes about bilingual and immigrant communities. And as you all know, and if you don't know, I'm bilingual myself. My first language is Spanish. Authenticity matters, especially when cultural identity isn't a costume you can just slip in and out of when it's convenient for you. Hilaria Baldwin, originally Hillary Lynn Hayward Thomas, was born January 6, 1984 in Boston, Massachusetts. She grew up in an affluent American family and attended prestigious private schools, later studying in New York University. While she publicly portrayed herself as being of Spanish heritage and having strong ties to Mallorca, Spain, she has absolutely, positively no Spanish ancestry. Now, she rose to fame primarily after marrying Alec Baldwin in 2012, subsequently building a career as a yoga instructor, author, and influencer. However, her reputation took a controversial turn in December 2020 when social media users exposed inconsistencies in her claims about her background, her accent, and cultural identity, sparking widespread criticism and accusations of cultural appropriation. They have a new Max/HBO reality show where it shows a preview of their lives together. As I told you before, as someone who genuinely grew up speaking Spanish, I've experienced actual language confusion because my dad taught us Spanish at home with my mom, but his way was complete quirkiness kind of Spanish, like made up vocabulary. So imagine to my surprise as an adult discovering that those adorable little words weren't exactly dictionary approved. It has taken me years to correct this, but hey, at least my language struggle wasn't a carefully curated Instagram performance. Now, my siblings that have moved out of our hometown do not practice their Spanish like they should be. So with that comes the struggle when they come back home. You see, real language struggles are not glamorous. They're authentic, frustrating, and definitely not about conveniently forgetting English to appear exotic. During the show, The Baldwins, Hilaria sits down to share a bit about why she speaks Spanish to her children.
I want to teach my kids pride in speaking more than one language.
Claiming she wants them to grow up bilingual. Great idea. Honestly, that is great. But interestingly enough, she never clarifies how she's teaching them, formally or casually. The ambiguity might be intentional, or perhaps she just conveniently forgot to detail that information to us. But still, I think it's a great idea. So she continues, and I'll show you the clip because things get particularly spicy when Hilaria suddenly turns defensive, passionately stating, I love English and I also love Spanish, and when I mix the two, it doesn't make me inauthentic. It makes me normal.
Love English. I also love Spanish. And when I mix the two, it doesn't make me inauthentic. When I mix the two, that makes me normal.
But does it really, Hillary? Does it really? Oh, but Hillary doesn't stop there whatsoever, because you saw how frustrated she is when she's kind of explaining to us like it's not a bad thing. It doesn't make me inauthentic. She gets really, really animated about that. But she continues. Let me play the other clip.
My family, my friends, my community who speak multiple languages, who have belonging in multiple places, and realize that we are a mix of all these different things, and that's going to have an impact on how we sound and an impact on how we articulate things and the words that we choose and our mannerisms. That's normal. That's called being human.
So did you hear it? As she continues ramping up the gaslighting by explaining that having family and friends who speak multiple languages and live internationally naturally impacts our accents and articulation and mannerisms. What? Like, to her, that means being human. But let's be clear, being genuinely bilingual or multicultural isn't the issue here whatsoever. The issue is her intentional blurring of lines and convenient slipping in and out of culture identities whenever the narrative suits her. All right, let's talk about accents, because I almost left this out of the video, but it's very important because I have an accent when I speak English, and a lot of native speakers can hear it. It's something that I really cannot hear myself. But wait, there's more. When I visit my family in Mexico and I speak perfectly fluent Spanish, guess what? I also have an accent there. Yep, somehow I manage to be fluent in 2 languages and still sound like a tourist in both. Honestly, it's hilarious now and a bit unfair, but I try to get rid of my accents, but I can't hear them, so how can I get rid of them? Since I'm definitely not out here trying to sound like anything else other than myself, so it is very difficult for me to kind of have compassion for someone like Hilaria Baldwin, because here I am being fluent in 2 languages and having an accent in both and not hearing it and trying to improve it as much as I can. But Hillary Baldwin is spending time allegedly learning and practicing to mimic a fake accent. Like, seriously, who does that? Like, that's weird, because here I am unintentionally sounding foreign everywhere, and there she is intentionally faking it just to seem exotic. It's almost impressive if it weren't completely messed up. Let me show you.
Married life is really nice. You know, it feels different. It really feels different. And everybody's saying to me, like, why are you so calm? Why are you so...
What I have learned is that in English, I have to enunciate and open my mouth a lot more when I speak. Unlike in Spanish, I can speak it in like smaller, like faster cadence, and my mouth does not open as much. So in English, I have to enunciate and open wider. In Spanish, because I'm more fluent there, I can just talk. And she still does that. Watch, let me show you another clip. Oh wait, let me show you this one before we go to that clip that I wanted to show you.
Yeah, and welcome to the daily yoga series. Please feel free to follow along and practice with us.
See, she does feel free to practice with us. Like she intentionally makes her mouth not move as much because it's the cadence. And of course, in Spanish, there's many different cadences. So let me show you the... All right, so this is it.
What a prenup is, because you're like, after a certain number of kids, it's this. And I was like, you know what? I'll just sign it, which was probably very stupid of me back then. Now I would read it again. But like, I just said I will sign it. I don't really want to think about the end by the beginning. And then you're like, yeah, I don't want to do it.
Let's talk slower. You're speaking English in a Spanish cadence, which is always perilous for me. Slow down just a kiss. I can't understand you.
So she hasn't stopped. She still does like her cadence like very, very fast. And I understand she's bilingual, that's fine, right? But I feel like she's still in that paper, in that fakeness, in that where she identifies herself as Spain, yeah, because that's what she was trying to do. And I don't know if I'm maybe looking too much into it, but even the way she dresses and like she tries to have this spiciness about her, kind of portraying the Latina type culture that we're like, we're super spicy and we like it and that's the way we are. Like, no. Like, no. Maybe I might be looking too much into it, but that's how I felt watching these 2 episodes of her. Other than that, it's just my opinion, but you guys decide. So I wanted to go ahead and pull this up because I thought it was brilliant. In Spanish, there's just so many different accents and cadences. Watch. And I think this defines it and you can hear it very well.
I speak Spanish.
I speak Spanish.
I speak Portuguese.
I speak Spanish.
I speak Spanish.
I speak Spanish.
All right, so you can see that everybody, one's from Mexico, one's from Portugal, one's like everybody's from somewhere different and they all speak Spanish, but they all have a different accent in English and they're not all the same. Do you think these women, including myself, want to have accents? No, that's just the way it happens. But for Hillary, she's like, I want that. I want to be exactly like these women. And she continues to do it. And I don't even think she knows or is aware that she continues to do it. Now, Hilaria Baldwin represents a severe PR crisis involving deliberate deception. Her choice to fabricate an identity, including adopting a fake accent and falsely claiming Spanish heritage, creates a direct violation of audience trust. From my perspective, her response, often defensive and dismissive of genuine criticism, has only intensified public backlash. Effective PR recovery has been done, though, in some of the first 2 episodes that I have watched. I've only watched 2. But they do show transparency. Still lacks accountability, but ultimately her case serves a powerful reminder that inauthenticity, especially when intentional, is extremely difficult to reverse in the court of public opinion. Some of the effective PR recovery that has been done in the show, for one, it was surprisingly transparent, especially when it came to Alex's ongoing trial. Again, I've only managed to get through 2 episodes, but right from the beginning, they openly addressed it, which is very much appreciated. Another thing that I saw they were transparent with was Hillary admitting openly to having help. Unlike Meghan Markle, Hillary's like, yeah, I have 2 nannies because I have 7 children. And that right there, transparency counts. So that is some of the recovery PR that they have been doing. But what stood out the most to me was seeing Alex's love for his wife. He seems truly determined to make his marriage work because he openly stated that he deeply regretted how his first marriage ended and how it impacted his oldest daughter. And they only had 1. Now he has 7 with Hillary. At this point, it feels like no matter what Hillary does, Alec will stick by her. All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And another thing, I would love to hear if you want me to continue watching this series. That way I can do a rundown for you guys. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.